Hello everyone, welcome to FSO Spotlight. Today we have the MEA Roundtable here. We have Paraz, Philip, Murad and Aziz. Welcome guys. We're so happy to have you here. Do you want to give a quick introduction about yourself?
Thank you for getting us here. This is Paras here. I'm from Dubai. We are distributors in Dubai from Elixir Technologies. We are serving ManageEngine for last 20 years. I personally am with Elixir for last 12 years.
Awesome.
I head the pre-sales division and AI analytics for Elixir.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for inviting us. My name's Philip Slimovitz. I'm from RTR Technology. My role is the CEO, and underneath me we probably have about 60 or 70 people. Our sole focus is ManageEngine. We've been doing it for 21, 22 years, and great toolset, great product, and the market has the appetite to grow year on year.
Hello, I'm Murad from Saudi Arabia. We are from an FSO. We are the platinum partner for the last 19 years. Myself, I'm the business development manager. I'm heading the sales, pre-sales, and service delivery. We have around 40 plus only dedicated for ManageEngine. I'm happy to be here with the FSO team.
Hi, Vishnu. A pleasure to be here. My name is Aziz, and I'm from Burhan Tech. We are the partners in Kuwait and Qatar. We have been gold partners for 15 plus years now. ManageEngine is our primary and core product. And I lead the technical team for end-to-end project delivery, and I'm also the senior solutions consultant for the products.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the conversation now. We'll start by talking about the digital maturity in your regions, especially when you see in the Middle East region, the government organizations are far ahead of what enterprises are in terms of digital maturity. We see that from here, like projects like Smart Dubai or Digital Egypt and everything. So how do you see that? How is the digital maturity in your region? How are government organizations handling this, and are other IT organizations or enterprises coping up with that?
Yeah, so digital maturity for the Middle East is stronger, and they are ahead of the other countries. They are emerging countries, and they invest more in mobilities, platforms for the citizens, everything on mobile, no papers, because they started late, so they can use the newer systems and newer technologies. They've been doing well, like a paperless government kind of a thing, and they've been able to implement it successfully. That's a good thing. And now they've been starting investing in AI, which is the next gen for them, with having reduced people dependency, having more automations and AI-driven solutions, again for the M government, it's digital government.
So are enterprises catching up with that?
Kind of, yes. Big enterprises are doing it, like retails and bankings, who have more volumes. They are able to invest in AI and digitization, and they're able to get the benefits, the ROIs, certainly.
What about your region, Philip?
South Africa, on the other hand, is very different to Saudi or Kuwait. We aren't there yet. Our government's lacking. We're a paper industry. We're not digitized at all. We have plans for it, but the plans don't come to fruition. Probably in the next 5 years, we'll have a transformation. But then when you get to enterprise, the large enterprise, they're adopting it. So I'd say enterprise is ahead of government. There's big talk in government of AI this, AI that, but nothing's come to fruition. The bigger players are doing it. So all the listed companies on the Joburg Stock Exchange, they have an adoption of AI, and that's the big driver. So I'd say AI is a driver, and cybersecurity is a driver for most.
Regarding Saudi Arabia, digital transformation is a very way advanced in Saudi. Even most of the government, they already achieved the digital transformation. There is no paper transaction. And this is part of the Saudi Vision 2030. Actually, we overachieved that. Regarding the larger enterprise, they already followed the government direction, because there are many government regulations forcing them to follow certain digital transformation programs and certain controls. Now, the phase 2 starts with the small and medium. So larger enterprise, almost most of them are they already fully digitized.
I'll speak on two fronts, because we have Kuwait and Qatar as two regions, and there is disparity between both of these regions. And I think Philip, I need to enlighten him that Kuwait is on the same front, same level as South Africa. It's completely, the government is still a paper industry right now. So everything is on paper. It is digitizing. They are shifting to electronic processes. And a lot of that has been achieved because of COVID. So COVID enforced them to go online, and we are thankful for that. But then in terms of maturity, enterprises are already mature in Kuwait, and government is now actually following. They are catching up to them, and Qatar is already it's a much mature market. So government as well as the enterprises, they are already at par with the industry standards.
Okay. So you both of you guys said that the big enterprises are already there, but the mid-market, are they coping up? Are they in the process of digital evolution, or are they yet to start? How is that?
Okay, if I talk about Saudi, yes, because there are certain activities or like mid-market, if they want to do government transaction or any business transaction, they need to be like certified for certain certification like NCA and other certification based on the business domain. Like if it's financial, they have certain regulations. So they are coping up, because if they are not going to do that, if they will not follow the digital, they will be out of business. So they have to follow.
Awesome. What about Dubai?
Yeah, so there are 3 stages of maturity, I would say. One is digitizing it, then automating the processes, and third would be using AI to optimize those processes. So for enterprises and SMB, they have done the digitization part, 80-90%. They are looking at automating a lot of processes at this stage. The third stage would be using AI to optimize those processes. So most of the enterprises and SMBs are at the second stage, where they are looking at automating their processes, having workflows designed for anything and everything across the government, moving a file from one person to the other person, all that is run by workflow. So they are targeting that in the next couple of years. And post that, once the AI infrastructure which is being invested by the government is ready, all of these automations will help them to optimize using the AI logics and the LLMs.
Awesome. Yeah. So this question is for you, for your region, Philip. So we see reports from World Bank and GSMA talking about the broadband gaps, especially in the sub-suburban regions and the South African region. So how do you see that? Is there a problem with the broadband things there?
So I'd say broadband is one of the issues. For example, Elon Musk was in the news about Starlink. And Elon Musk said he won't give away 30% of his business to provide connectivity. And that's a problem we have. We have BEE, Black Economic Empowerment. We have to give portions of your business away to do the business. So connectivity is one issue we have. Power is another issue we have. So we have limited power, and we have power interruptions. And connectivity is a huge issue, and it's expensive. So businesses are trying to cope with it, and they're running perhaps diesel. So they run diesel generators, and that also becomes expensive. So running a business becomes a lot more expensive for anyone, small, medium, large. They are trying to address it, but like everything, it takes time. They make promises, and they're not delivering. So hopefully in 5 years' time, we'll have better connectivity all the way around.
Okay, but I don't think the Middle East region has this issue, or do we? Do you see the same, the broadband, power issues, broadband connectivity?
No, in Saudi.
Pretty stable for us as well.
Yeah,
we had some issues last year because of the high temperatures in summer. So some of the power stations were overloaded. But then those were quickly mitigated. I mean, power is not an issue for our region.
No. So it primarily depends upon the infrastructure that you guys have, maybe?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got failing infrastructure. So we're looking for reinvestment in the infrastructure. Once that's done, work will become easier, life becomes easier, and the cost of doing business will become better.
So again, we see that AWS, Google, everyone are setting up data centers in the Middle East region. So how do you see that? How will this affect the government plans that's coming and the enterprise is growing? So what is this effect of all of these data centers coming into your region directly to the enterprises? How do you see this?
Okay, so if we talk about Saudi, part of the digital transformation, and it's a regulation from the government, the cloud adoption. So having such data centers in Saudi Arabia, it's helping the government to enforce more the cloud adoption. For the government, or let's say the large enterprise, they follow the hybrid model. So they have the on-prem and plus the cloud. But there are certain regulations that data need to be inside Saudi. So having the data center inside Saudi help a lot. especially before having AWS and Google, they have their own data center. Government already built the cloud infrastructure for the entire government, which is DEEM or SADA, if you heard about it. So they already, in Saudi, they already start ahead before that. Even Microsoft, they are going to open their own data center inside Saudi Arabia to be able to adapt to the Saudi regulations.
So this is basically to reduce the cross-region dependency, is it?
It's security-wise. In Saudi, it's the security and privacy, so they cannot have data hosted outside the country.
Okay.
Our region is especially very skeptical and paranoid when it comes to cloud, especially the government, right? So having those data centers locally and having those public cloud platforms like Google, Amazon coming in locally and setting up their offices, that helps build more confidence in the government. So that's why, like Murad said, the cloud adoption is inclined, it's towards an inclination because of the same reason. I mean, previously government were not confident about hosting their data in US or European data centers, right? So now that cloud adoption is really getting traction because of the local presence.
How is it in your region?
Exact same. So there's no trust in cloud. So government has built their own data centers, and we have Terracom. We have a whole bunch of co-location, and they do a little bit of co-location, but it is hybrid. So we enjoy having our data in South Africa. That's important.
So I don't think Dubai is any different. It's again.
For Dubai, it's a shift from, there are two major changes. One is the economy is going from capex to opex kind of thing, where people used to invest in data centers, 5-year plan, and run it as a business. Now everything is moving to opex, take the cloud fast, roll out, onboarding is faster. And second is the teams are getting slimmer. The IT teams, the management is getting slimmer because the cloud needs lesser efforts to manage. They're autonomous, and a lot of cloud gives the systems within itself. So for FSO, cloud has its own FSO monitoring and stuff. So the IT teams are getting slimmer. So that's one big change we are seeing. And of course, OPEX is moving ahead. CAPEX is going down. Okay. So these are two major changes we see with the regional cloud service providers increasing in UAE.
Nice. So we'll quickly move on to the infra part, IT infrastructures and complex IT. So what do you think should companies like ManageEngine do to support organizations that are far ahead on digital modernization? So how dependent are these organizations on their service providers?
Okay, so like if I talk about ManageEngine, it helped a lot, like having the data center inside Saudi. It helped, the organization to start using more and follow the regulations. Now, after the data center, we start rolling out the solutions to a lot of government sector that they already adopted the cloud. So they they are using Site24, part of FSO, and other solutions from ManageEngine. So that instead of before, they used to have like a virtual server hosted on one of the service provider, to have the on-prem installation, to have the cloud access to monitor their infrastructure. Now having ManageEngine inside Saudi Arabia, this helped a lot. So reduce the large enterprise or even government on the service provider, because they can have their monitoring or their solution directly from the vendor and following the local regulations. So it helped a lot.
So how dependent are these organizations on companies or service providers like us?
Yeah, once they start onboarding these products, then they are heavily dependent, because a lot of their day-to-day activities, their processes, right, workflows, everything is through these kind of product solutions, right? Now, nobody wants to go back to manual or paper process once. So availability, uptime is utmost important to customers. Rather than having new flashy features, they would always prefer to have 100% uptime for applications that already are running in place, right? Because that creates a chaos for IT department, and especially something like that's used across the organization, something like service desk, right? So every user is going to start calling into the help desk. So uptime is what is most critical for customers right now.
I agree, and I think if the product's installed correctly, you've got a customer for life. So implementation and doing it correctly and making it painless and effortless for an end user, you'll have that product for life, and then the opportunity to grow the tool sets. And then it's difficult to leave ManageEngine if you have 6 or 7 tool sets in.
Yeah, it's very addictive, I would say. One product in the basket and customer wants more. And as you said, how can vendors help? The way ManageEngine is doing that reverse integration, you need service management, you need monitoring, you need workflows, all that is converged with each other. So that is what the customer wants, one vendor, one contract, 5, 6 products doing all the work.
Agreed.
Reduced people dependency. So one Superman can handle 3, 4 products. They don't want 5 people, 10 people because unlike India, outside individual cost is very high. So that is why we are able to reduce number of people they need in IT, and as he said, increase the availability of the systems, increase the customer satisfaction when they raise a ticket, how soon are we able to resolve it, whether an automated workflow solves his password reset or a human being does it. So all that affects the customer satisfaction. So that is where the vendors play a big role.
Yeah. So I think ManageEngine in this front is far more superior, right? Because you say, for example, you say something goes wrong with your a router or a switch or any device. Our FSO tool finds that out and raises a ticket in the SDP tool. So that if they have cross correlation of all of these things, the resolution or the RCA is very, very, very easy for them.
Customers would love to have the products talking to each other rather than a siloed approach where everything is independent and no connection with different products.
So you sell to a lot of people. Do they look for one solution that has everything, like an all-in-one solution, all-in-one dashboard, or do they look for individual components or individual solutions for each problem they have? Where do you see the highest inclination is towards?
Most of let's talk about the larger enterprise, because we have been focused on the enterprise for, let's say, the last 3 years. We managed to sell especially FSO and the server USM to large enterprise. They would like to have one interface. So they don't want to have multiple interface. Like OP Manager, we go full-fledged because what is the point of having a distributed model like NCM, NFA as a standalone instead of having one single dashboard? Even having one single interface, the AI and the correlation of the events, it will be easier, like root cause and all of that. But if you have a standalone and you go back and do integration, you break that correlation part. So they would prefer single dashboard. Even what we start doing before even the platform concept, we started introducing the Analytics Plus. So the customer they have like 5-10 solutions of ManageEngine, and instead of having multiple dashboards for each solution, no, go to the Analytics Plus level, you will have a full visibility. Even the customer now, they start requesting to add or integrate with their own other tools, so they will have unified. That help us to do cross-sell and even growing ManageEngine more in that organizations.
For us, it's very similar. When a customer comes in, they have a specific problem. So I can't address them with a full tool set. I'll go in with one specific problem, solve it. Then I'll teach them about ManageEngine. Then they see the full functionality of the tool set, and then they just grow on that. So it's not that I go and say I'm going to sell Op Manager. It doesn't work that way. It comes in with a problem, and then from that problem we expand. So it's a land and expand approach for us.
So since we had a conversation about the competitors, so we see that the stability with the competitors are not great at this point of time, especially some are going on with an acquisition. The prices are increasing day by day. In the last 8 months, we have seen prices growing 3x and 4x. I know that MEA especially is not a cost sensitive market, but how important is stability as a company for the organizations who are opting to services?
It's incredibly important. We need stable pricing across the board, and we cannot sell a product to somebody and 3 months' time say to them, well, there's an increase because they've added another feature when that feature was already in the tool set. So in terms of stability, it's critical. Pricing has remained the same, and I think the price point is what also sells ManageEngine. So you get all these features for a minimal cost, and that's why we need to keep it. You don't have jumps in pricing like our competitors doing 3 times, or you only can sell perpetual. So I think you have been stable, and that is our win.
What customers don't like is unpredictability and variation in terms of their products. So what I mean by that is when they purchase a product, they expect a gradual growth in terms of, let's say, cost, right, or in terms of any kind of changes in the product. But then when there's a drastic change, right, there's a substantial change in any of those, then that is taken by surprise by the customer, right, and that's what they don't like. So in these kinds of instabilities by any vendor, which is a competition to ManageEngine, that is definitely going to trouble the customer, and it's a chance for us then to come in and put our product on the table.
Agreed. And most customers work in, I don't know about your regions, but most customers work in a cycle. So they've got a budget cycle. And if their price was $1, they expect a CPI relation, so it'll be 8% increase. But if it's got a 20% increase, that's where we get pushback, and that leaves opportunity for our competitors. That's the issue we have.
So they'll already have an ROI to attain, and when this steep inclination happens, that becomes a difficult.
Well, then it goes to board and board approval, and then they start questioning ManageEngine. Why are we using ManageEngine? They've never questioned it for 15 or 20 years, but suddenly we have a price increase, and now they want to question and they want to throw the baby and the bathwater out at the same time.
The price increase, if it is justified, it is accepted. So some products have increased prices, and customer understands that these were not, they have lower baseline, and now they are improving the baseline. But stability for me is 3 areas. One is the product should be stable. Second is price should be not variable. And third is the presence. The local presence has to be stable. So what ManageEngine is doing is the price is stable, of course. Local presence, as I said, number of events, number of presence, MEA presence in the region, having local person to attend meetings from ManageEngine. That all counts for stability, because they want people to be there, to be accessible, whether it's a country manager or it's a TAM or anybody, so that the accessibility continues. Even if product is not stable, at least the people are there to address them. They maintain the stability with that.
Adding to that, what Paras said about local presence, it's also about local partners. So a lot of the competition has, a lot of shift in partnerships. So you will see, I'll talk about our region specifically. So the competition that we face usually is when the partners who are selling those competitive products, there is a shift. I mean, at times there's partner A who is selling it for 5 years, and then he discontinues and moves to another product, and then there's partner B, right? So that trust is broken by the customer, because he had a flow, a rhythm that was well with the existing partner, but then now that partner refuses to continue with that same product. So building that trust again with another partner is going to be very difficult. But with ManageEngine, what we see is that everybody who's sitting here has been partners for decades, right, with ManageEngine. And that's also a major plus point for customers, and that's why they trust in ManageEngine, because they trust the partners as well.
So people make a difference. So there are so many products in the market. The only difference you can make is you are selling it to a person, and an individual can make the difference. That counts.
Okay. So we spoke about modernization, we spoke about the cost effectiveness. Let's talk about security for an aspect, especially in the Saudi region. You guys take cyber security very, very seriously. And we also have our ManageEngine data centers in the UAE region. So how easy has that made to sell our products to the customers, and how are customers willing to get a product or willing to buy a product that has a data center here, and how does this affect security as an aspect?
Having a data center inside Saudi Arabia, it helped us more to help the customer regarding the cloud adoption, because as I mentioned earlier, the security controls or the security regulations of the government is very strict. So if there is the data is hosted outside, it's not allowed. So having the data center, even the Saudi Arabia data center, ManageEngine Saudi Arabia data center is already certified from the government, from NCA. This helped a lot to increase the number of cloud customers. We have many large enterprise, even government sector, they start migrating to ManageEngine Saudi data center. And we have a huge potential of having more and more like small and medium plus the enterprise customers hosted in Saudi data center.
Also, how is security tied towards full stack observability? How tightly linked are they?
Security, like, any cybersecurity in government or large enterprise, when we tell them, especially for the FSO, When we tell them, okay, we need to pull your data and it will be hosted in somewhere else, that was a big no before. Especially like, data center in Europe, US, India, that was a big no. Now when the data center inside, that's, give like peace of mind because data is still inside the country, which following the regulation. Because if any time the government start doing an audit on them, they are compliant to the security audit because, data inside. So now, security, is allowing us to start rolling out the FSO inside Saudi Arabia as a cloud adoption. And having the certificate or the data center is already certified from the government, it give us and the customer more confidence to start moving to the cloud.
See, globally, the number of attacks per year has been increasing, the penetration, ransomware and stuff. But the IT managers have equal task in hand to move to a more secure environment. Now, whatever they do, whatever firewalls and stuff they do, they cannot make the data center enough secure. So the only task they can do is move to SaaS. Now, moving to SaaS specifically, service management and all is good, but FSO has a bigger challenge because you're taking the data, the IP addresses, everything to the cloud. So for FSO, they look at a higher level of security to be managed. Again, a lot of agent-based monitoring, network monitoring happens through probes and stuff. So they look minutely into those communications, how secure they are, and if they are compromised anywhere, what is my risk? Because if there is an agent running on a server and the agent is compromised, it compromises my entire server farm. So they are slow for FSO. Service management has been faster on SaaS cloud. They will take some time. Maybe the early risers will show some good references, and then the bigger enterprises will adopt. But today or tomorrow, they will adopt because cost of infrastructure is rising. And second is keeping them secure is a very big task for every enterprise. So they will, today or tomorrow, they will move to SaaS.
So thank you so much, guys. It was an amazing conversation. We spoke about digital modernization. I was able to understand how government are dealing with modernization and how organizations are coping up. And we also spoke about how stable MEA as a company is. So thank you so much. It was an amazing session. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vishnu.
Thank you.
Thank you.